Goodbye. Welcome to another Star Rail DPS Showdown. Today, we finally have the battle between the two 4-star quantum damage dealers, Qingque and Xueyi. We're going to quickly go over their builds while I explain the rules of today's showdown. Today's battle will be held in memory of Chaos 12's second half. 10 attempts each, and the one with the lowest cycle clear wins. They're going to be using the same team consisting of Bronya, Ruan Mei, and Fu Xuan. A lot of new things to do in this showdown. Not only are we doing Xueyi, but we also haven't used Ruan Mei in one of these, and Memory of Chaos 12's out. It's good to be back. We also have Pure Fiction, and I still want to continue doing the nuke showcases, but I wanted to make this video specifically for Memory of Chaos 12 because we haven't done it yet. In the future, of course, we're going to include everything else. If you have any ideas for tests or challenges you want me to do for these DPS showdowns, let me know in the comments as well. Only 23% of you are subscribed, so if you enjoyed these videos, I'd appreciate a lot if you left a like and sub. But with that, let's get on with the show. Xueyi will be starting us off here as today's challenger. We actually need her and Bronya to get hit for the strat to work out. Fortunately in this run, both of them do get targeted, and that gives them just enough energy to ult on their first actions. With my specific build and teams, there's only a few ways I can get the 0 cycle on the first wave given my damage. This sequence is really important. It's a fully buffed skill into a follow-up attack, into her ult, into another follow-up attack. We also don't want to break the Silver Main Lieutenant here because we want him to summon his adds. Since they have Quantum Weakness, they're needed to give Xueyi the last few stacks for her next follow-up attack. Even though the two elites are at under half HP, the next two attacks need to be perfect. We get a couple stacks of her talent here, and then one final action. We'll gain 2 stacks by attacking the soldier, and then Fu Xuan can proc the final stack of Xueyi's talent. And now it all comes down to whether this ult will take out the lieutenant. Let's see. And there we have it. Qingque is going to need to 0 cycle here to keep up with Xueyi. There's no real strategy here because of how many different possibilities there are with Qingque, so we're just going to have to hope for the best. Now you're going to see something a little bit unfortunate right off the bat. Qingque is going to get her 4 of a kind right away, which means she's not going to be able to use her skill to increase her damage, but that's okay. Ideally though, I would have liked to use Qingque's skill into Bronya's ult. If you're not aware of this tech, it makes Bronya's ult last for 3 turns on Qingque instead of 2. That's why you might see me overcapping energy on Bronya's ult. It's often worth doing this if you can extend the buff duration by a whole turn. You'll see this here after we get our E4 proc. I decide to use her ults. My Fu Xuan here is actually built a little bit differently. She's not built with crit damage, but you'll see all the builds at the end. It's looking good here, even though we're a bit unlucky. You can see we have way too many skill points, which means we didn't use enough skills to increase her damage, but one more Bronya skill enhanced turn should be enough. We do get it in one roll, so only 1 stack of the damage bonus, but with an ult into an enhanced basic attack, it should be enough to clear this in the 0 cycle. Moving back on over to the Xueyi side, the game plan here is simple. We want to take out the small adds before anything else. This way her talent's follow-up attack only targets the True Sting, and it'll also apply the vulnerability stacks from the bugs exploding. We won't have enough skill points to do a basic, or rather, we won't have enough skill points to do a skill, so we have to basic here, and then I make a pretty questionable play here. I wanted to take out the small bug with her ult. Unfortunately, we don't get the crit, so this kind of messes up our entire sequence. What I really should have done is just use my skill first into an ult. Just from using her skill, she'll be able to use a follow-up attack, and then from her ult, she'll be able to launch a follow-up attack again. So I do admit it's a bit of a misplay on my part, but luckily for us, we actually have Ruan Mei's ult and Bronya's ult for Xueyi's next big sequence. If we didn't use our ult first in the last one, then we might not have had enough energy to use it when we had both Bronya and Ruan Mei's ults up. Either way, the goal is to make the True Sting phase during the next Bronya skill enhanced action. We're going to have every single one of our buffs active as well, so this should be a ton of damage. Now, one thing I was thinking about is if I should have just used a basic, but in case my ult or a follow-up attack doesn't crit, we're actually not going to be able to make it phase, and we can't afford to risk that right now. Fortunately for us, we do manage to make it phase. The reason why we wanted to summon its adds before the cycle ends is so that the turbulence bonus actually does damage to its adds, helping us chunk down their health. This should make them easy targets for even Fu Xuan to pick off and apply more vulnerability stacks to the True Sting. One of Xueyi's weaknesses that we have to address is when there are a lot of adds. Fu Xuan really helps with this, of course, with her ults. Ruan Mei does a bit of extra chip damage when they get broken. When there are only a couple enemies left though, Xueyi gets to absolutely feast on them. The nice thing about bounce attacks, like her talent's follow-up attack, is that they won't target enemies that are already dead, so all her attacks are going to be hitting the True Sting here. All we need now is for her to get her ult, and unfortunately we're missing a bit of energy after using this skill. But we can get hit one time and we should have enough. We have 2 chances here. Nope, the swarm doesn't target us, but the bug that it summons. And unfortunately, sometimes that's just how the ball rolls. We're not going to be able to get the 1 cycle. We miss our chance. The cycle ends, but it's still okay. Still a respectable 2 cycle clear here after she uses her ult. You might be wondering why the damage was lower on that hit. We don't have Ruan Mei, we don't have Fu Xuan's field up, but still, it's going to be enough. Well, now Qingque can match it with either a 2 cycle clear, or she can beat it with a 1 cycle or even 0 cycle, though that's pretty unlikely with this team. MOC 12 compared to MOC 10 is an entirely different beast though. The amount of damage you need for a 0 or even 1 cycle clear is actually monstrous. You can see almost 80k damage was barely 15% of the True Sting's HP. That's actually nuts. Its 1 million HP might seem daunting, but luckily we do have vulnerability and the bugs exploding to deal some extra damage, so it's not as bad as it seems, I think. But it is a bit more challenging for single target oriented units other than Zila, because you really want to take out the bugs. We're gearing up for a big full buff turn here. Gonna need a skill on Fu Xuan. Throw away a tile on Qingque because we don't want to use it right now. And then we're going to use Bronya's skill first. This way we can extend the buff duration on Qingque. If we get our E4, we won't have to use our ults. And you see by that little purple icon under her health bar, indicating her E4. You don't need to wait until Qingque gets a 4 of a kind to use Bronya's ult for the buff turn extension. You just need to do it after Qingque uses at least one of her skills. We do get the phase before the cycle ends, just like Xueyi, and we're in about the same position as the last one. Now it's all about whether Qingque can beat it in this cycle or if she'll need to take another. The reason why I wanted to save Qingque's ult for this phase is because she can actually take out some of the adds and apply vulnerability before she uses her enhanced basic attack. This way we get the maximum damage bonus, and as we know, the True Sting has so much HP that we really need to maximize every single hit. Between the earlier Fu Xuan ult, this basic attack, and some of Ruan Mei's own break damage, we're actually going to be able to take out all of them. We get 3 matching tiles, which could have spelled trouble, but luckily we throw that away and we use a skill, and we get our E4. Unfortunately, we didn't get to use our skill many times again, but this should be enough. We get our full combo, ult into double enhanced basic attack. And the winner of this DPS showdown is Qingque with a 1 cycle clear over Xueyi's 2 cycle clear. You're going to see all the support builds on screen here, starting with our defensive Fu Xuan build, followed by her crit build. Again, I want to make a note that it is possible for me to get a Xueyi 1 cycle clear with my build specifically, but given the restrictions of DPS showdowns, I'm only allowed 10 attempts each. It'd be disingenuous for me to just keep retrying until I got it. We're going to swap to the crit Fu Xuan build here, but on screen you're going to see the recorded cycle counts for each attempt as well. Of course, I would have loved to get that 0 cycle, or not 0 cycle, 1 cycle with Xueyi, though again, I can't just do that. The key takeaway here as well is that Xueyi required a lot more work to perfect her run. Of course, it's because she's a new character. Qingque is probably easier to play overall once you know how she works. For Xueyi, I did a lot of planning, like making sure I know where all her follow-up attack bounces will land. Of course, at E6 though, she is still really strong and really fun to use. I did only manage to zero cycle the first wave 2 times, I believe, but with Qingque, I was able to zero cycle the first wave pretty much every single run except for ones where I got too unlucky. Overall though, I'm still really impressed by Xueyi and Qingque's performance. This is the first time we did MOC 12 for DPS Showdown, and knowing that one cycle is possible for Xueyi is a really good thing. But that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end, and I will see you next time.